Hi everybody, this is Jennifer. I'm coming to you with my second sales update video for eBay. These are items that I picked up in church sales and garage sales, thrift stores, and I resell it on eBay. Alright, the first item I have is a women's button-down paisley long sleeve blouse. This was really pretty. I did not capture how pretty the color was in the pictures, but it was very, very nice. There you go. It's got a green tag. Ralph Lauren has different color labels and they mean different things. I don't have enough information to get into it, but what I usually do, if I have enough room in my title, I will put what color the label is in the title. You can never have too much information, so if you have the room, just add information that you have into that title. Okay, this I picked up at Goodwill. It was in the men's clothes, and that happens a lot at thrift stores. They put items in the wrong area, which is great because a lot of times great items are overlooked and you can pick them up. I got this for $3.99 and it sold for $40. The next item is Ralph Lauren again. This is a men's button-down long sleeve shirt. It's only a size large. I try to find like larger sizes, like 2X and up, unless it's very nice. And this it was just a nice design, and it was very, very clean. So I picked it up for $3.99 and sold for $25. The next item is this was great because this is more like a coat. It's a flannel sherpa lined with quilted arms, and they had it in just with the flannel, so it only cost me $5, and it was extremely clean. It's by Lee, and it was very, very warm. It was really nice, and it cost me $5 and sold for $40. This, okay, I'm going to try to say this correctly. I think it's Ermenegildo Zegna. And luckily, we do not have to pronounce it to buy it because that would be a little too difficult. All right, there's the label. That's the label you want to be looking for. And I want to thank Rake and Profit for this. If you haven't already and you sell clothes, you really want to watch his channel. He has a wealth of information about what to buy at thrift stores. So, again, Rake and Profit. I think it's R-A-I-K-E-N, Profit, and you won't regret it. He has so much information. So I picked this up at Salvation Army, and if you don't know, well, maybe it's just here, but Salvation Army, where I live, they look at the brands. And if it's a higher end brand, like normally a button-down shirt will be out there for $4.99 or $5.99. But if it's a brand like this, you're going to be looking at $10.99 or, $12.99, depending on who's there, I guess. But this was out for $10, and I got it on a day that was half off, and there was 3 of them, and this is the first one to sell. Where I live also at Goodwill, which I like better, they have certain areas, and these shirts will all be $3.99. It doesn't matter if they're brand new. It doesn't matter if it's a very high-end brand. They're just all $3.99. So Goodwill is a little easier to shop at for me than Salvation Army, where you have to get it at that right moment where it's marked down. Okay. Okay, so I paid $5 and it sold for $40. The next item is, this was really interesting because this was actually a bit for a horse, and it was at a flea market, I believe, and it was just laying out on a table, and I knew what it was right away because I used to train horses. So I picked it up. It was $5, and I know they can be kind of pricey. And I took this picture from the internet because it was still in the bag, and I didn't want to take it out of the bag to show more detail, so I took this really pretty picture from the internet. And but if you are taking a picture from the internet, put your own pictures in the auction, because there's 2 reasons. One, people want to see what you have. They just don't want a pretty picture. They want to see actually what they're going to get. And it's going to avoid any confusion and avoid negative feedback or anything bad from potentially happening if you show them what they're actually going to receive. Two, I was watching a representative from eBay on YouTube, and he said if you put your own pictures into the auction and don't like steal them from another location, it increases your rank in Google. I don't know why that happens, but it increases your visibility. So you definitely want to use your own pictures. Okay, so I paid $5 and this sold for $33. Oh, just so you know, all my items are free shipping. If you can't see it, it's all free shipping. All right, the next item is a Harley Davidson orange flannel shirt. This was great. Harley Davidson is a wonderful thing to look for. It sells all the time. So if this item isn't completely wrecked, you want to pick it up. This had a lot of flaws. I mean, they weren't horrible flaws, but you know, it wasn't great. It had some wear, and it has pulls. I had a pull in the shoulder, it's fraying around the buttons, like even the back. And as you can see, I show everything. And when you have pulls or damage, it's great to throw a coin by it so people, you know, can see actually how large that is. I mean, you can say it in your auction, but, you know, there's nothing better than a picture, and there's nothing better than a visual. So put that coin next to any damage you might have on your shirt or pants. This I picked up, I believe it was $5, and I think it was Salvation Army, and I had it out for $35, and I took a best offer of $30. It still got $30 with all those little pulls all over it, so, you know, keep your eyes out for that. Okay, this is a brass belt buckle, BTS belt buckle. I see these belt buckles all over the place. I do pick them up. The subject matter was really good. It's hunting and it's a dog. People love animals, so animals are really a good subject matter to have. And states are good, like when it has like, you know, like Texas or something like that. And also ships, I find, sell very well. I mean, these are things that sell for me, so this is just my experience I'm telling you about. I also took a picture of the back, and I paid $4 for this at the Goodwill, and it sold for $25. Okay, this is a NBA Orlando Magic Starter windbreaker. This was nothing special. It was just a nice pullover. I bought this for $5 at Goodwill, and I think it sold in about 6 weeks. I kept getting offers for a lot less for this. People were making offers even though I had nothing on it to accept an offer, but they were just emailing me wanting to pay less for this. But I didn't take it, and I just waited, and it eventually sold for $28. Okay, this is a lot of Broadway playbills. This was at a garage sale. It was just in a box, and I thought maybe something in there is collectible. And so I asked them how much for the whole box, and they said $5. So I thought, okay, you know, the worst thing that's going to happen is I'll put it in a lot and sell it on eBay. And that's exactly what happened. There was nothing special in there. So I put it in a lot, and I put it on eBay. I paid $5. I had it out for $60, and it sat and it sat and it sat. So eventually I put a best offer on it, and someone offered me $35, and I immediately took it. So that wasn't too bad. That was good. Okay, this was really, really cool. This was at a church sale, and it's a book of how to paint signs and show cards, and it's from 1924. Now, I didn't get it because it was old, because old books a lot of times have no value. I got it because it had very cool graphics in it, and it did have some writing, like right here. But overall, it was in good condition, and so I picked that up, and it was 50 cents, so I really couldn't go wrong. And when I researched it, I found out if this had been 1921 instead of 24, I would have gotten about $120 for this book. So that would have been awesome, but I couldn't find this year. So I, consider that there's writing in it. I just made up a number, so I put it out for $40, and obviously that was way too low because it sold in like 2 hours, and I thought, wow, whoops. But that's okay because I only paid 50 cents for it, and I made, I got $40 for it, and I really can't complain about that. And next time I know, so that's not a problem. All right, so here's another Ralph Lauren. This I got at a flea market. Um, it's new with tags. It's a linen sweater vest, and it's a green tag, and I put that right there in the title. And it sold, I think, in about a month, and I paid $5, and it sold for $50. And right there. Okay. The next item is okay. I put this in here because of the condition. This is a it's a library CD. Now, when you look at it, I found this at Goodwill, and it's just a wreck. I mean, it's got stickers all over it, and it has cuts in the insert. And if you look at the CD, it has these lines and has writing, and this is all done by the library. They mark it up like this. But I looked at the CD itself, and it was in it was in pretty good condition. So the CDs were fine. So I decided, okay, I'll look it up, and I found that this set gets about $30 to $40 used. So I'm thinking, well, if it's in this condition, maybe at least I can get 20, and it was only $1. So I bought it, and I put it on eBay, and it got $20 for it. So that's fine. So what I'm just trying to say is, if it has a higher value, and even though it has these flaws, kind of like the Harley Davidson, you want to pick it up. You pick up another item for $1 that sold for 20. So don't be too afraid. As long as it doesn't affect how it plays, don't be too afraid of marks. And as you can see too, I didn't change the jewel case. You know what I mean? I could have changed the jewel case and gotten rid of that sticker. But, I'm putting it out there. This is a library CD. You definitely want to, put it all out there so people understand what they're getting. Okay, the next item, again, is Ralph Lauren. This was just a nice pair of chinos, $42.30. I picked this up at Goodwill, $4, and it's sold within the month for $35. And it's new with tags. Oh yeah, and this is great too. If you have a tag, always look and see if they have the suggested retail price on there. And take a picture of it, because you could say, oh, this retails for $70, but picture's worth 1,000 words. If they can see that and you're selling it for 35, it just makes your price look awesome. So definitely take a picture of that tag. Okay, the next thing is a Brooks Brothers button-down shirt. I paid $4 for this from Goodwill, and it's sold for $25. Now, these are great because they sell all the time. So they're not a huge markup, but they really just sell all the time. You should always pick them up as long as they're clean. This has a really nice design. There you go. Take a look. Oh, look, I'm frozen. There you go. Okay. All right. The next item is all right, this is a pewter Pegasus pin. This was really cool. I got 2 of them. This was a dealer in a flea market, and I bought this because of the subject matter. People like fantasy, and it's a horse. People love horses, so, and it was nice and big. It was like 3 inches by 2. And it is signed. I mean, not that the signature has a lot of value, but I paid $1.75 for this, and I got $23. I haven't put the other one on, so there were slight differences in both of them, so I have to actually take pictures of the other one. I can't use the same picture. Okay, the next item. This was interesting because I picked this up at a it was a garage sale. Yeah, I picked this up at a garage sale, and there was a box with all jewelry, and this was in there, and I paid $2 for it. And it's it's obviously a campaign pendant. Shinnecock is in Long Island, and it has the date on it, but honestly, I don't know a lot about this. I took it home and I researched and I researched. I couldn't find anything, and I don't know who this person is. If anybody knows who this person is, I would really appreciate it if you made a comment, because I sold it without knowing. I put it out. Now with an item like this, I mean, I don't know. Wow, this could be like have a lot of value. You know, if I really don't know if this has, if an item has a lot of value, I'll put it out on an auction. So my original price was like 75. Like, oh, I'd be so happy if I got $75. So I put it out at first in an auction. It had a lot of views, but you know, nobody bid on it. So once the auction ended, I put it as a buy it now for a month, and again, it had a lot of views, but you know, nobody bought that either. So as soon as I lowered it down to 50, it went pretty quickly, and they purchased it for $50, which was fine because I paid $2 and I got $50 for that. Okay, the next item is my mistake, and I wanted to tell you about my mistake. You can see it's still active. Now, somebody did buy this, and they bought it for $30, and when they received it, they thought it was lighter than it was when they received it. They thought the sweater was going to be a lighter color. Now, that was my fault, because these first two pictures were much lighter than this picture. And I even darkened it up a little bit when I relisted, but you could tell they're still lighter. Except now I describe it in the auction, and I say the first two pictures are lighter than the actual sweater, and for the color to look at the last two. You definitely want to get your pictures as close to the original color as you can. When I made a difference that was that extreme within the auction, that was my mistake. I don't know what I was thinking, but that was just my mistake. But sometimes all your pictures might be slightly off. This mistake actually changed the way I list, because I used to take pictures. I take them in another room. I work out of my home. I take them in another room. When I'm done, I fold them up and I put them in tubs. And then I have all the information written on a pad, and I have my pictures, and then I make my auctions. Now, what happens is when you're editing your photos, if you don't have that item right next to you, or your memory could be wrong. You know, you think you have the right color, and it could be slightly off. So now what I do is I take a clear poly bag, and as soon as I'm done taking my pictures, I stick it in this clear poly bag just to protect it. Like if I'm going to carry it from room to room, you know, it's just for protection. And then I put them all in a tub, all the pictures I took, and then I bring that tub with me into the other room, and I do my auctions. And when I do it, when I'm doing the photos, I just take the poly bag and I put it up to the picture and make sure that the coloring is correct. You want it to be exact, because this person returned this item, but I'm not only worried about the returns, I'm worried about all the people that might get something and just not be completely pleased with what they purchased, and they're just not going to buy from me again. They may never ever tell me, and they just may not buy from me again. And so you want it, for every one person that complains, or there's a return, or maybe even you get a negative, you got to think what happened that caused that, and how many other people are out there that are upset. And then you think about like the people that didn't leave you feedback. It may not be that maybe they don't leave feedback. It may be that maybe they weren't completely happy with their purchase, and maybe they're just not the type to leave a negative. They're just going to leave you nothing, and they're just not going to shop with you any longer. So it's just something to take into consideration. Okay, now these poly bags I was telling you about, the clear ones, they're great because when you put your clothes, this is another seller, he sells poly bags. When you put your clothes in there, it gives it a really nice new look. So I love these bags. I fold everything really nicely, and I stick them in these poly bags, and it's like receiving a new item, you know. And then once you put them in these bags and somebody buys it, you slip the bag into one of these poly mailers, and it's just a very good presentation, I think. And you put like a little thank you note in there, and people see that you took these extra steps to protect their item, and with also it has that brand new look to it. So it's just something I recommend, just to take that little extra step and put it in a clear poly bag. Okay, I think, yeah, that's it. All right. I hope you found some of this information helpful, and thank you so much for watching the video, and have a great day.